Good evening, dear students. How are you? So today we're going to discuss about the sixth unit, right? Natural hazards, right? Now, a natural hazard, of course, it's a thing that is occurred naturally. Of course, you can't stop them. You can reduce the damage, but you never can stop it, right? So when Earth undergoes continuous changes, right, there are some consequences. So some of these changes occur naturally, right, without human influence, and there are also human uh, activities as well, right? So certain natural changes are harmless, but some can cause serious damage to people, even for property and even the environment as well. So such harmful events are known as natural hazards. आपदा කියලා කියන්නේ ස්වභාවික ආපදා. So a natural hazard is a naturally occurring event or process in the environment that has potential to cause harm, right? So that's what. Okay. Now look at this video. What exactly is a natural hazard, right?
Planet Earth is beautiful. But also deadly. You're about to see how. Welcome, everyone, to the world of natural hazards. A natural hazard is a natural event that can cause social and economic impacts. In geography, social means impacts on people and their lives, so mainly we're talking about injuries and deaths. Economic refers to any effects the event has on jobs and money, and this often refers to the cost of the damage a hazard has done or the jobs that people lose. It is, however, important not to confuse natural hazards with man-made hazards such as radiation leaks or oil spills. It has to be something created by nature rather than people. Another important fact to remember is that a natural hazard must have social and economic impacts, otherwise it isn't considered a hazard. For example, if there was a small volcanic eruption in Antarctica, the most remote and uninhabited place on Earth, it wouldn't really be considered a natural hazard, because it would have been too far away from people to create any social or economic impacts. Instead, we just refer to it as a natural event. In reality, there are many different examples of natural hazards, but since we're keeping it simple, we'll just list some of the most well-known and dangerous ones. There are earthquakes, volcanoes, tropical storms, droughts, heat waves, tornadoes, flooding, and wildfires. And this is just to name a few. We usually sort hazards into two categories. There are hazards created by the weather, known as weather hazards, climatic hazards, or atmospheric hazards, and hazards created by processes taking place inside our planet. Those are called geological hazards or tectonic hazards. Though there are many natural hazards in the world, the main ones taught about in GCSE natural hazards are usually earthquakes, volcanoes, and tropical storms. We'll be covering these in more detail in future videos. Speaking of which, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe as it helps.
So that's actually natural hazards, right? Okay, let's write about it. Right. Okay. Now, what are these natural disasters, right? Earthquakes, floods, landslides are there, droughts, cyclones, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, right? So that's what. Okay. So natural disasters. Now, natural disasters occur when a natural hazard causes actual damage to people, property and economic activities and environment. Right? hazard එකකින් ඇත්තටම ඩැමේජ් එකක් වුණොත් මිනිස්සුන්ට දේපවලට සහ ආර්ථිකයට ඒකට කියන අපි ස්වභාවික ආපදාවක් කියලා. Right? Okay. Right. Let's write about that examples under few. Three and about the natural disaster definition as well, right? Okay. Now, types of natural hazards, right? Now, they can be categorized according to their origin, right? ඕක හැදෙන විදිහ අනුව, right? ඒ කියන්නේ geological hazards තියෙනවා, climatic hazards, biological hazards, right? So that's what. Okay. Okay, let's write about that. Okay. So what is this geological hazards? Now, geological hazards originate from processes inside or on the Earth's crust. පෘථුවිය ඇතුළෙන් එනවා, right? කියන්නේ earthquakes වගේ දේවල්, සුනාමි එන්නේ මුහුද වෙන දේවල් හින්දා, right? මුහුදේ earthquake එකක් වෙලා. එතකොට volcanic eruptions වගේ දේවල්, right? එතකොට landslides වගේ දේවල් ඇති වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ geological hazards, right? තමයි ඒවා, right? They consider that as geological hazards, right? Now, here, look at this video.
Studying natural disasters in this day and age is pretty important
Japan.
because with population growth and density, it's becoming more and more likely that there is going to be a natural disaster that affects millions of people. We went to Japan to study natural disasters, to look at one of the most perfect locations where you are constantly having natural disasters occur and able to look at how they're prepared for them and how they're preparing better for them now than they did in the past. Our course was funded through the New Colombo Plan grants. We were in Japan for 2 weeks on a field trip run with University of Tokyo. We spent a few days in the classroom learning from the academics there about how the area is affected and what research is currently being done, and then we travelled along the coast and got to see it for ourselves. It was really confronting for the most part. It was pretty terrifying to see just the scale of how these areas were just completely obliterated by something that happened so fast. I don't
So they
think
go to
you
places,
come
natural hazards has occurred, right?
Welcome to our exploration of geological hazards,
Yeah.
where the forces that shape our planet also present formidable challenges. In this educational journey, we delve into the dramatic world of earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and landslides, phenomena that can profoundly impact communities worldwide. Understanding these processes is not just an academic pursuit, it's a necessity for preparation and resilience. From the sudden jolt of an earthquake to the fiery spectacle of a volcano and the silent threat of a landslide, each holds the potential for destruction, yet offers lessons in adaptation and survival. As we embark on this journey, we'll preview these powerful natural events, shedding light on their causes and exploring strategies to mitigate their effects. Together, we'll uncover the science behind these hazards and equip ourselves with knowledge to better protect our communities. Join us as we begin this crucial conversation on safeguarding lives through understanding and preparation. Earthquakes are one of nature's most formidable forces, occurring when tectonic plates beneath our feet shift, releasing powerful energy. This phenomenon can happen anywhere on Earth, but certain areas, like the Pacific Ring of Fire, are more prone due to their location. Understanding the mechanics behind these tremors is crucial. As tectonic plates grind against one another, they build up stress over time. When this stress is released, it sends shockwaves through the Earth, leading to the shaking we feel on the surface. The impact of earthquakes extends far beyond the initial tremor. They can trigger landslides, tsunamis, and cause significant infrastructure damage. Communities in earthquake-prone regions face the dual challenges of immediate destruction and long-term rebuilding. Yet with this knowledge comes power, the power to prepare. By studying past events and current geological activity, we can anticipate potential impacts. In this exploration of earthquakes, we lay the foundation for understanding how these natural events shape our world and influence our lives. Join us as we continue to unravel the mysteries of Earth's dynamic forces and learn how to protect ourselves and our communities. Volcanoes are awe-inspiring yet formidable features of our planet, where molten rock from deep within the Earth finds its way to the surface. These dramatic eruptions can drastically reshape landscapes, creating new landforms while simultaneously posing significant threats to life and property. Understanding the formation and types of volcanoes is crucial. Shield volcanoes, with their broad, gentle slopes, differ vastly from the steep and explosive stratovolcanoes. Each type carries its own potential for devastation. The effects of volcanic eruptions are far-reaching. They can trigger landslides, create tsunamis, and release ash clouds that alter global climates. The 2010 eruption of Eyjafjallajökull in Iceland, for example, disrupted air travel across Europe, highlighting the interconnectedness of our world. Identifying volcanic hazard zones is essential for preparedness. Regions along tectonic plate boundaries, like the Ring of Fire, are particularly vulnerable. By recognizing these areas, communities can implement effective evacuation plans and build resilient infrastructure. As we move forward, understanding these natural phenomena is key to mitigating their impacts. Join us as we explore landslides next, uncovering their causes and how we can reduce their threats to our communities. Landslides are a powerful and often sudden movement.
Right. So that is about geological hazards, right? Okay, let's write about that. And what are these climatic hazards, right? Hmm? Now, climatic hazards caused by the change of weather patterns, right? අපිට වෙන්නේ දැන් මේ දවස්වල ඒ වගේ right? ඒ කියන්නේ කාලගුණයේ වෙනස් වීම හින්දා වෙන අනතුරු, right? Like, cyclones, lightning and thundering, floods, ගම් වතුර වගේ දේවල්, droughts, okay? Those things, right? Right, okay. So the third time, of course, biological hazards, right? Now, biological hazards caused by the living organisms or the biological processes, right? Then epidemics wage they like COVID-19 wage aave khai, right? Bushfires, right? Large scale extinction of flora and fauna. විශාල වශයෙන් ගස් වැල් දෙවල් ජෛව පද්ධති විනාශ වෙලා යනවා. So the best example is the epidemics, right? Okay. Mm, right. Now the biological hazards, of course, they have levels, right? Safety. Now look at this video. What is a biological hazard?
A biological hazard, or biohazard, is a biological substance that poses a threat to health of living organisms, primarily humans. This could include a sample of a microorganism, virus or toxin, that can adversely affect human health. A biohazard could also be a substance harmful to other living beings. Biological hazards are widely found in the natural environment and as a result, are present in many work sectors and industries. Most biological hazards are harmless, but due to the health effects and problems, they can be a hazard and risk in all workplaces. Health issues can be a result of either direct exposure or related allergens and toxins. Although biological hazards are found in all work environments, some sectors are at a higher risk such as healthcare, veterinary services, agriculture, sewage management, and laboratories. The term and the application of the biohazard symbol are used in situations where people are actively working with known biohazards. They can and do though exist in other situations as it is in examples within the context of building and premises management. Legionella is an example of one that can contaminate a building's water systems and services. There are also a variety of biological hazards that may be present on construction sites. Bird droppings, for example in refurbishment or demolition sites, inhaling dust or water droplets containing contaminated bird droppings can lead to several diseases. Most biological hazards can cause disease in humans, from the common cold to life-threatening diseases. They can also cause other effects, such as poisonings, or provoke an allergic response. Biohazard transmission can be through a number of routes, the primary of which are injection, by contaminated sharp objects, like needle, scalpel, or through animal bites, scratches and broken or abraded skin. Absorption, directly through the skin, by hand-to-face contact and or splashes to the eyes, nose and mouth. Ingestion, by eating or drinking items with a biohazard in or on them and by hand-to-mouth contact where the hands have been contaminated. And inhalation, where particles, vapors and or aerosols are breathed in or respired. Types of biological hazard. Bacteria. This is a common microscopic organism, which can multiply rapidly and build up causing infection. Most bacteria are harmless. Many types grow naturally on the human body in mucous membranes. Bacteria can be found on all workplace surfaces, in the soil and growing in various substances used by workers. Viruses. Viruses are different to bacteria as they are the smallest microbes. A virus is a core genetic material, either DNA or RNA, covered by a protective coat of protein. Viruses replicate inside other living cells. They can latch onto host cells, taking over their functions. The infected cell can infect new cells when stimulated. Viruses can cause several diseases in more advanced cell structures. Examples include chickenpox, cold, COVID-19, Ebola, flu, hepatitis, herpes simplex virus or HSV, measles, mumps, polio, rabies as well as rubella. Fungi. Fungi are more complex organisms than bacteria or viruses.
So those are some biological hazards, right? Detailed, like explain detailed, right? Okay. Let's write about biological hazards, right? Okay, so what are the common natural disasters? Now, some major natural disasters are found. Of course, is river and part of the world of tsunami, landslides, droughts, floods, and everything, right? We'll discuss about these things one by one. Even earlier, we have learned these things last year. However, this is like just a revision part like this, right? Now, earthquake. An earthquake, of course, is a sudden shaking. We can't stop them, right? Trembling of Earth's surface caused by the release of energy within the Earth's crust. So this energy is produced by the movement of the rock masses, especially near the boundaries of the tectonic plates. Okay. Now, earthquakes mainly occur to the sudden release of stored energy in the Earth's crust. ඔය tectonic plates එකට යාවෙනකොට තමයි earthquakes වගේ දේවල් ඇති වෙන්නේ, right? Now, since we are very lucky, දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම මේ tectonic plates, right? Earthquake plates අපි දැන් Google වලින් ගත්තොත් එහෙම image එකක් කර අපි ඉන්න තැනත් එක්ක we are very lucky, right? දැන් මේ තියෙන එකක් එහෙම, right? දැක්කද? Can you see? අපේ රට ළඟින් යන්නේ එකක්වත් මේ ඉන්දියාවට. ඒතර හැම රටකටම ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාවෙත් ළඟින් යන්නේ, right? Okay, අනිත් countries වල මම දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම if you look Europe, right? Japan එහෙම මේ පේනවද? මැදින්ම යනවා, right? අන්න ඒක ඒ පැත්තේ ගොඩක්ම earthquakes එහෙම තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් Indian plate එකේ අපි ඉන්න තැන it's very we are lucky. That's what. Okay? Look at this video about earthquakes.
From above, the planet appears eerily still. But every mountain range and every chasm on its face is a scar, with many telling a story of when the Earth rumbled to life. Earthquakes occur around the world. They've been recorded on all 7 continents, but most quakes take place in just 3 regions. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge, an underwater line that runs down the Atlantic Ocean, the Alpine Belt, which stretches from the Mediterranean to Southeast Asia, and the Circum-Pacific Belt, which traces along the edges of the Pacific Ocean and is where about 80% of all earthquakes occur. These areas experience the most earthquakes due to what lies beneath the surface. Earthquakes are the result of pressure, specifically pressure caused by extreme stress in the Earth's crust. That stress can be caused by volcanic activity or even man-made activities in certain areas. However, most earthquake-inducing stress is caused by the movement of tectonic plates. Tectonic plates are constantly moving, either against, away, along, or underneath each other. But sometimes their edges may catch and stick. The plates, however, continue to move, or at least attempt to. Energy from this attempted movement builds around the edge's sticking point, creating immense pressure until the edges are forced to let go and the plates slip. This causes a sudden and powerful release of energy, so powerful that it breaks the Earth's crust. This fracturing emits shock waves through the ground and causes intense vibrations, or quakes. In fact, the world's most earthquake-prone regions are where the most geologically active plates meet. Earthquakes, or any seismic activity, are recorded by seismographs. When the ground shakes, seismographs oscillate, drawing a jagged line to reflect this movement. The more extreme the earthquake, the greater the height of the jagged line. These recorded motions are then used to measure the earthquake's strength, or magnitude. While several scales of magnitude exist, the one seismologists prefer is the moment magnitude scale. It has no upper limit, and it measures earthquakes logarithmically. This means that each magnitude on its scale is 10 times greater than the one before it. Unlike the now rarely used Richter scale, the moment magnitude scale can be applied globally and can measure quakes of the highest magnitudes. The largest recorded earthquake occurred near Valdivia, Chile in 1960. Nestled within the Circum-Pacific Belt, the Valdivia earthquake was the most powerful in a series of quakes that struck the region, measuring at a magnitude of about 9.5. In addition to causing devastating tremors on land, the earthquake also generated a deadly tsunami reaching up to 80 feet high. The tsunami raced across the Pacific Ocean, hitting faraway countries like the Philippines and Japan. In fact, data from seismographs show that the shock waves emitted by the Valdivia earthquake continued to shake the entire planet for days. Some earthquake-prone areas have adapted various ways to protect their communities. Buildings and bridges are designed to sway rather
In
than
Japan, they
break
have done
when
this.
an earthquake occurs. The public is educated on how to protect themselves during a seismic event,
අපේ හැම මේ
and government officials
train
enact
කරලා නැහැ.
drills to ensure the protection
ආනියෝගේ
of their
තමයි.
people.
අපි දන්නේ නැහැ මොනවද කරගන්න ඕන කියලා.
Earthquakes can leave behind incredible devastation.
Hmm.
But these same forces have also created magnificent features, with each adding character to a planet so
Himalayan
unique.
mountain range. Tectonic plates දෙකක් එකට හැදිලා. ඒක තමයි කියලා. There are good things as well as bad things as well, right? Okay, let's write about that. Okay. So what are the main causes? First one is movement of tectonic plates, right? Okay, tectonic plates wala movement unavadha venne. Now the Earth's crust is made up of several major and minor tectonic plates. So when these plates move slowly in different directions, it occurs. Now when the plates collide, මේ tectonic plates එකට collide වුණාම separate or slide past each other, a large number of or large amount of energy is released, right? Causing earthquakes. The earthquakes are then, right? Okay. Now, here, look at this.
Take a look at the outer surface of our planet. It may look like one solid shell. But according to the theory of plate tectonics, this outer layer, called the lithosphere, is actually broken up into massive, rigid slabs called tectonic plates that fit together like puzzle pieces. Floating on a thick, molten layer of the mantle called the asthenosphere, the plates slide around like slow-motion bumper cars, traveling up to 6 inches a year. Right now, Earth's crust is divided into 7 large plates and dozens of smaller ones. The boundaries between these plates are dynamic and violent places that make and break Earth's crust. The relative movement of the plates creates 3 types of boundaries. A divergent boundary occurs when 2 plates move away from each other. On land, you can easily see this. Diverging plates create huge troughs, like the Great Rift Valley in Africa. If the spreading here continues, the Indian Ocean will eventually flood the rift, converting the entire eastern Horn of Africa into a massive island. Transform boundaries are where 2 plates grind past each other in opposite directions. The most famous example is the San Andreas Fault, where portions of Southern California, including Los Angeles, are sliding roughly 2 inches closer to Northern California each year. A convergent boundary, on the other hand, is where 2 plates collide. The impact often weakens and crumples the crust upward into jagged mountain ranges.
Right. Okay, let's write about that. Right. What is the next cause? Plate boundary movements. Now, most earthquakes occur near boundary margins of tectonic plates, right? Move වෙනකොට. Next one falls in the Earth's crust. Crust එකේ මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තිබ්බහම. Now, earthquakes may all occur along fault cracks in the Earth's crust, right? Now, sudden movement along these faults release stored energy. And next is the volcanic activity. Some earthquakes occur due to the volcanic eruptions and the movements of the magma beneath the Earth's surface. Right? That is the main reason. Okay. Now, if you look at this video, right? Here. හොදා වැදෙන්නේ දැක්ක. අපිට දැනෙන්නේ නෑ move වෙනවා. ඔය ඉස්සර තිබ්බ විදිය. දැක්කද ටික ටික අපි ඉන්න කාර්යයට ආවා. Right. So that is why you can see like oil in the seabeds, right? Or offshore oil rigs එහෙම තියෙන මොහොතේ ඔය tectonic plates අර එහෙම ගිහිල්ලා තමයි, right? Okay, right. Let's write about that. Plate boundary movements. Right, okay. So that's all for today, right? Next day we'll discuss about the formation of an earthquake and magnitude of earthquakes, right? And the impacts of them, right? And tsunamis and other natural disasters, right? Okay. Good night then. Take care.